So hello and welcome to the 11th episode of Nightmare Down Under, the GearCity Let's Play where we play a Nightmare difficulty down under in Australia. We started in 1900, now it is April 1926. We just finished upgrading our factory at Melbourne so that we have a bit more space for production. In 3 months we're going to get our brand new touring on the long wheelbase platform. So let's reorganize the production. We now have 7 production lines available in Melbourne. Due to some rearrangements by our competition, we are now making tons of Phaetons, so we're selling about 2,400. And therefore what I want to do is try to consolidate Phaeton production in Melbourne to 21515, so I can remove Phaeton production here. What I can also do then is remove the 15 production from Melbourne and put those back on Sydney. So we need to produce about 1,100 standards and 950 LX sedans. So that's great. So we're getting the touring in 3, so those will probably go to Sydney too, and that makes sense. It sort of makes sense. The long wheelbase platform is here, so maybe we move things around further. So since we've just upgraded Melbourne and the market seems to be going up, what I'm going to do is to redesign the factory with 26 lines and this kind of technology. So the same. So that in now 3+ years time we'll have even more production capacity on the same lines and also the option to upgrade the factory again. So Sydney is fine, and it will even be fine when the touring comes online. But I think it's still a pre-war factory. So what I want to do is simply to redesign as it is, so current size, with a medium level of technology, where we just go into 3 stars, so that we have some space for some lower volume production, but also redesign so that we reap the increased efficiency. Because one thing I suppose we can see. Yes, we can. So we have the same number of employees in the last round in Melbourne and Sydney, but in Sydney we produce about 800 cars less with the same amount of people. So that's where some extra efficiency comes from. We have lower unit costs, but that's simply we didn't utilize the lines fully, whereas in Sydney we did. So that's another sign that this is slightly outgrowing or we have outgrown the production line efficiency, or the production line capacity. So redesign, Sydney also gets a redesign simply to have, again, more efficient production lines, and that will be finished a bit earlier. Okay, so let's finish adjusting production further, since I think our competitors had also a few rearrangements. So touring 554 is fine. This is already adjusted. So the 7 touring 548. Yeah, so that's good. 16 touring 700. Gran Coupe 984 is fine. But we're making 1,083, yeah, so a bit less. Just did the Phaeton 16 pickup. I think 500 works, since we might get a sales dip now. 16 sedan is fine. 1,040, and this will all probably subject to change once we or our competitors get their stuff in order again. So 3 months touring. We probably, let's see what our cash flow does with our factory works. We still have 2 million in cash flow, despite working on 2 factories at the same time. Can make with some more 7 Tourings. So 1 more line. '16 Touring is fine. Gran Coupe is fine. Phaeton is fine, especially with this huge number. Pickup truck is good. 16 Sedan is good. And we can make some more LXs. Touring in 2, so we can sunset it. So both Tourings. So the 16, just a few less. No contracts for us. The 7 Touring, 500 flat, dead. Rest is great. Less Grand Coupes, 950. So new Touring is ready. Well, both new Tourings are ready. We still have a few reserves. I'm probably going to scrap them. And let's check whether this is a change in the market. Rest is great. So research complete. Has something changed on the touring market, or is it just a bit of a downturn? No, it's still the Hope-C Tourings that are getting a bit stale. Type rating 25. It's not that great. So we are with 2 million cash flows while we're redesigning factories. Don't have to worry about things. So nope, that's the Sedan. So here, Melbourne, 16 Tourings and 23 7 Tourings. Because this just screws with the sales model. So let's put them into production. So 16 Touring and the 7 Touring both go away. And production, so that I have the names out of the way. It's not getting any easier to keep track of stuff. So 7 Touring and 16 Touring. What does the press say? So the smaller one. NU Australis is a big deal to some. We have a growing fan base who just love the vehicles. Will the 15 Touring please the fans? And tempt non-fans into buying it. Mundane. So the 15 horsepower engine is mundane. It's not a fantastic number, but it could be slightly more performance. So I think for the base model, we just hit the nail on the head. And torque isn't great. They love the handling. Very bare bones interior, but very spacious. Bare minimum of production quality. Not prone to failure. Not great in terms of fuel economy. And it's relatively safe compared to the competition, so I think for the base model this is pretty fine. Let's see what they think about the 17 Touring. Is it fast? No. It's not very good. It's underpowered. And they like to talk, so that's good. But overall, engine is still a bit underpowered. They love the handling. They like the interior. They love the cargo space. And good build quality. Very good reliability. Dog's man's best friend. It gets better fuel economy. 16.1. Yeah, so that's, I think, this sort of penalty when the engine is too weak, and we're probably just above and below the threshold, so that's interesting. Bare bones of safety, and this car seems to be really good. So we need probably will get some higher sales numbers. So the base touring was around 600. So I think this was something like this, and we can be that cheap in relation to the Hope C because we have very low material costs. And then let's put it above that, so 1204. Nope, some 2 clicks more. Nope, more. And I think, yeah, 1268, so it's higher. So 39 and 42, yep, so this is great, and this will steal a lot of sales. So let's estimate optimistically 750 sales for the base model. Okay, so we need to move something. So I'm moving the Gran Coupe, 950 Gran Coupe in Sydney. And putting the Touring into production, and that's the top model. So that's 800, possibly. So we have 2 lines in Sydney and 4 lines in Melbourne, and we're not really hugely expanding our model range. So that was that. What's next? So that's the next oldest car, the Grand Coupe. That's getting a bit stale. What platform does it sit on? Ah, still the old platform. The old medium. So that's something we can do. Put it on the new medium-sized platform. Because the rest, I think, looks pretty neat. Yeah. So new platform. So new look. L3. Who else sits on the old medium-sized platform? The Phaeton. Yeah, that's fine. So let's update them. Yes, definitely. So it's cheap, so we do major modification. The engine, it's the 2+2 coupe. We're still using the 2-cylinder. The Phaeton, okay, yeah, that's good. So so major modification. Get one more torque and better fuel economy. Smoothness is identical. So the engines are pretty identical now. They also cost the same. The one is just newer. Then I'm simply going to use the newer engine then, full stop. The other isn't really that good, so major improvements. Gearbox, I'm probably going with the manual. Well, the new one is very reliable. And smoothness, they're identical. So it's probably a bit of a not the best impact of manual versus synchromesh. That an older manual or an older synchromesh gearbox is as smooth as a newer non-synchromesh. That should be more pronounced. So from a game perspective, I'm going with the newer gearbox actually, because it has much better reliability. So medium platform, the newer engine, and the newer gearbox. So here we had the trendsetter, so this was the 2+2 Coupe. Do we have anything similar? We have a new set of bodies, but these are a bit too modern for us. Maybe we simply give us actually a rear door, because our sedan is larger. So this has 693. 619, so this is actually smaller and worse. 624. That's pretty long actually. Yeah, so then I'll simply keep the body, despite it being a new car on a new platform. They like a bit of luxury, and I like this to be competitive, so it can be a bit less stingy here. Material costs are great, and with the other things as usual, let's work things out. Demographic testing. Here we make things slightly better, but I think it's still not that cost efficient. So reliability 32, 33, cargo 35, 34. Yeah. Performance, that's what they want. 38. That's a very nice specific rating. Safety. Overall 38, okay. And we are at the edge of things. Perfect. 13 months. So we now have pretty high project costs. So I'm going with 14 months. It's not urgent. It's just nice to do. So 30.9 fuel consumption, so we are over this hump of 50 versus 75%. So then the engine is probably going to be fine. And this is a 16 engine. So it's the 16 Gran. So it's the same. Hang on, is this the same name as what we have at the moment? Yes. Ah, because the older engine also had 16 horsepower, because that was the 158cc. Ah, this is the 15 engine that has now 16. Then we could actually say, well, it's the same car, sort of. But I'm not going to redo all this. Okay, so 14 months. Let's go ahead. Let's see how the Touring sells. So we need even more of the base model. The other one was a bit over optimistic, but overall I think 155 too many and 128 too little. Overall I think the estimation was fine, just not the distribution. Okay, 2,400 Phaetons. $1,016 sedan. 950 15 touring. And 650 17 touring. So that should work. How do the sales figures look like? Yes, so we are vastly outselling the Hopesy stuff. The Hopesy currency. Very good. Okay, we can drop down to, because I suspect they adjusted their prices, so 815 touring. Rest is good, very good, actually. Increased demand for Phaeton in North America. Yeah, but that's not here. Okay, they want to have more benefits. Yeah, happy to. Oh, that's a market shift. And we're also selling way more Tourings here. So did we drive away Hope C? No. We simply sold less. Yep, so they sell the same and we sell considerably more. Well, I'm not complaining, so let's adjust sales accordingly. So 717s. And 1015s. Okay, but did the trick. So 17 touring is fine, 15 touring, let's build some reserves. More Sedan LXs. Rest. More Phaetons to 5. Or a bit less. Yeah, everything else works. I let them... No, 15 Sedan, that's a big shift. I suspect that's competition. Contract requests, nothing for us. Best Phaeton, best Touring, best full-size Sedan. Some new competition in Germany. Let's check the market for full-size sedans. No, no one actually. Hang on. No, it's the regular sedan, not the full-size one. So the bench short Elfreda is now on the market from Hope C. And in Perth also we have the Jameson Farewell. But who cares about Perth? So we need less 15s. So 800 and 550. More pickups, 550. So Tourings have stabilized, 950 and 650. So how does our unit cost look like? Yep. So Melbourne is nice and low, and Sydney still suffers, I think, from a bit of an inefficiency. But that's why we are revamping things. 2 plus 2 in 9. $850 Tourings. Oh, so then sales have picked up again. That's interesting. But I think it's the 15, so 800 LXs, 750 LXs. For the standard sedan, we still have some reserve to chew through. Rest is good. Can make a few more pickups even. That one's still holding on quite well, despite not being the freshest design, I think. And that was an excellent choice, so we need 650. Yearly sales, let's simply compare for just for fun. So one extra production line for the pickup. 2 plus 2 is fine. Phaeton, 2,200 Phaetons. Don't need too many. A few more 16s. 15 is good. Sedan is good. Touring. 915 Tourings. $7 months? Yeah, let's check simply where we are. And how are we doing? So yeah, so we had a bit of a dip here with the where we lived off the pre-war models in 1921, and now things have taken off quite nicely. So higher expense, but also higher revenues. So that works. So I'm not expecting any cars being in the top 50 of sales. That's now long past. So simply I'd get an idea where we are here. About to break 100,000 in sales. That's, I think, pretty good actually. So we are on the second page at the bottom. 25 million profits. That's also on the second page, I assume. Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. And skills, so nicely improving. So pretty high, poor engineering ability. Dealership marketing is nice, and manufacturing slowly crawling upwards. Image, also quite interesting where we are. 42 quality, great. So that's actually on the second page. So we have a couple of pretty low scoring, so 29. So also on the second page in terms of performance. Luxury probably is good, so there are others that are better. And image great is also on the second page, so we are working our way up there. And that also, I think, helps then competing against the big manufacturers from overseas. Tons of missed sales. I hope she exited the touring market, I suspect, and the pickup truck market. That's getting a bit ludicrous. What are they up to? Yeah, they stopped selling the touring, so I suspect that's us blowing them out of the water. And they also stopped selling the pickup. Yeah, so Jameson Fairwell has 3. Why do we have 0 sales in Perth for our pickup? It doesn't get any penalties. I mean, we should be leading that. Oh, missed. That's missed sales. That's what it is. What are they up to? Wow, they cut a lot of stuff. So I only have 2 sedans and 2 coupes against us. That's pretty ruthless. I mean, they bought an entire mark, and okay, they have the sports car and the new sedan. So they're nicely competing against Apson for the luxury sedan. Okay, I'm not complaining. They're giving up there quite easily, so I need to make a ton of more cars. I wish the factories would be ready sooner. Alright. So 1,300. No, let's start with the Tourings. And we can simply make them more expensive. Well, let's see whether we'll get some more Tourings from others. So 1.5 Tourings. I can have the Gran Coupe here, so that's good. So I can make 1,300. Phaeton is Phaeton 1,000. so one less production line, which I may need anyway. 1,000 pickup trucks. Not exactly. 900. 885. One less production line. I suppose I'm going to need them. So the 15 sedan, 900. At least these lines are flexible enough that I don't have to make new lines entirely. So 17 touring is 1,200. And 15 touring 1,500. It actually fits. Melbourne fits and Sydney still has some space. We get our new Gran Coupe in 6. Still a few missed sales. At least the touring works. We need more 15 tourings. And I can deliver that. Sedans are great. Pickup truck. Yeah. Pickup trucks are just getting more expensive due to supply issues. And more Grand Coupes 1,400. And that's separate. Cash flow 3 million per month. Because the competition just said no thank you. I wonder when Apesen will move to the other cities. I'm not sure why they're stuck at Sydney. So 1,117s. What's the unit cost look like now that we basically utilize everything? Yeah, 115 in Melbourne and 147 still in Sydney. So a good thing that we're revamping Sydney as well. So this is, yeah, let's build up some reserve with these high sales figures. 815 sedans. And 1,515 tourings. 2 plus 2 in 4. $1,017 tourings. No contract for us. This rest 715 sedan, the Lexus. Okay, 16 sedan, that's a drop. 800. Let's check the market. And 1,300 Grand Coupes. No, that's simply, I think, the car getting slowly outdated. Okay, so things are now looking nicely stabilized. Now we're getting more 16s, but let's see whether this was just a one-time dip. So next month the 2 plus 2 on the new platform. So then we will also sell a couple more probably. 1415 touring. Yeah, we need a few more 16s. That was just a one-time dip. More Phaetons. So it still has some life left. Okay, 900 Grand Coupes. Location with new competition, Burnt All in Adelaide. So let's check what they're doing. Doesn't have a big impact on anything really. Phaeton maybe. So 2000 Phaetons and stop production of the Gran Coupe. So new Gran Coupe. Burnt All, they also have one, but that's terrible. So actually we can probably, yeah, sell it for more, because it's actually pretty good. And let's build more. So 1300. $350. Come on, be optimistic. We have the capacity anyway. So what does the press say? So engine power is actually good. Not great, but good. And average number of torque. They love the handling. Comfort and luxury doesn't win any awards. It barely meets what you need. Most people will find it to be a little tight. Cargo space. Above average in terms of quality. It's indestructible. Very good fuel economy, so the engine is great. And some focus on safety, so this is a really good car. That's awesome. What's next? When do we have to start design stamping new? So 1929, so we still have a year and a bit till we need to design something that we can get these skills. So the oldest, so we can stop the production of the old Gran Coupe. The oldest thing now is the Phaeton and the full-sized. The Phaeton is still fine. So let's give the full-sized a bit of a makeover just. So can we modify things? The L2 chassis. So wringing something more out of it. But that's just getting some extra comfort, extra strength. Yeah, so giving the final improvement to our long wheelbase chassis. So the engine still has some life left in it. And we should probably use that, these 90 more torque. And the gearbox major modification, I think it's probably outdated compared to the non-synchro mesh, but yeah. Because the other one has 47. So let's view them. So this is much better. Much more reliable especially. So that's weird. So it actually gets the non-synchronous again, because it's better. Otherwise it's just a bit of a makeover after 4 years, and that's certainly something we can do. So, and this actually starts to be more realistic again, so that we have a non-synchro mesh. Cost about the same. Should we choose a new body? 33, 34. So if the new body is better, we get 34. So we have this for the full-size sedan, but that's more luxury stuff. With this wooden, looks like rust in the end, or here's something plasticky. I think the body doesn't exist anymore. No, it does, here. 1020. And this is 1023, so marginally better. Something else in this style? Not really. This maybe. It says it's a wagon, but maybe it's not. 1024. Is this an upgrade over hang on, over this? Probably. Yeah, then use this. Oh, this also doesn't look bad. It's more modest, so then let's pick this. And it is not really better. We have now 18 horsepower, so that's great. So let's call this then the 18. So some more utility, 34, 35. Nope, they don't care. Some more quality, luxury, yeah, 36. Interior quality. Can distribute things a bit. So everything a little bit better. No, this doesn't seem to do the trick at all. Hang on. So 36. Ah, this does something. Can reduce safety a little bit, okay. So where's the 35? And no, not close. So 643 takes 4 months. The old one was 650, so slightly cheaper and much better. That works. Market demographic doesn't makes things worse again, so no thanks. And it's the 18 sedan. So that's definitely worth doing. Okay, so can we finally deactivate some stuff? No, the Phaeton sits still on the chassis, the Phaeton still has the engine, and the Phaeton still has the ancient gearbox, so it will get penalties in 1929, so the next thing we'll have to do is the new Phaeton, and that goes onto the large wheelbase. Okay, so we set everything up. So Melbourne to the brim with no, the Sydney to the brim with the new Gran Coupe. Let's see how this works and how we will be doing against the, wow, that's even better. So we can make it a bit more expensive. We should have checked Burnt Oil in Adelaide, what they were doing. 92 missed sales, so we can have 1,500. So before I forget it, let's check Adelaide. They have all sorts of stuff. They have touring, Phaeton, sedan, two 2+2s, and other stuff we don't have. How are we doing? Great. So they have some 2+2s that are not that great. They don't have a full-sized. Their Phaeton is awesome. So there we are loose. So yeah, but our Phaeton is now earmarked to remade. We are owning the sedan because their sedans are either terrible or not available. And the touring is also not that great. It's cheap, but that's it. Okay, so not even if they expanded, not a huge deal. We still have 2 million cash flows despite rebuilding both factories. No missed sales, so that's good. So Phaeton 1.8, yeah, it's probably getting a little bit stale over time. Pickup truck 800. We can sunset the old 16, so 800 of that. $750 15s, 750 and yeah. The other one is fine. $1,215 touring. I think that's the effect that we are noticing from burnt oil. And this Gran Coupe works. So full-size revamp incoming. So it's actually pretty stable. The rest is also pretty stable. Need tons more 16. No, we don't need. We can actually may still make 850, and we still won't have any left over. Phaeton dropped a bit. Adelaide Police Force. Let's check them. So we still got a couple of awards. That's awesome. So Phaeton 1.6. And 50 more 16 sedans, so it's still popular. What does the contract say? What does the police force want? They want a van. So the prisoner van. We don't have a van. So full-size sedan. So a few missed sales, but that's fine. Otherwise it's gone. The rest, so we're slowly burning through reserves in many instances. Okay, so let's put this thing on sale. Price is fine. Can make it a bit more expensive probably even, but we can simply also make more. So we're going to need, since this is better, and it's the 18, so it's 1,100. Something like this. What does the press say? So they gave the latest 18 sedan a test spin. How far does it lag behind the Comfort, which apparently is the class leader? It's impressed by the performance, so the 18 horsepower is good. So that did the trick, simply having the second engine revamp. Slightly underpowered in terms of torque. Towing capacity, yeah, not great. Great handling characteristics. It's no frills. Yes, that's true. It will last, but it's nothing special. The cargo space roughly in line with other vehicles. A few small QA issues, but nothing big. Very dependable. Great fuel economy. So the engine now is really good all of a sudden. They're happy with the power and its good fuel economy. Safe is important, but it's average but not more, so this seems to be a really good new full-size sedan. So what's next for R&D? We still have a year to put to use till we lose our skills. And what we need to do is to put the Phaeton on the new platform, on the medium-sized platform. That's not cheap enough, and at the same time mature enough, so we can end production of our old 16 sedan. And then working on that Phaeton is then going to be something for the next episode. See you then.